Welcome, my name is Mohammed Adan, and you watch an English news program on Somaliland National Television. These are the stories making headlines. President of Somaliland attends the 22nd anniversary of the National Police Forces. Somaliland's annual business fair due to be held soon. Suspected lax shooter faces murder charge. President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud, attended an event marking the 22nd anniversary of the establishment of the National Police Forces. A ceremonial event marking the 22nd anniversary of the establishment of the National Police Forces took place in the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa. The event had an attendance of senior members of the National Police Forces, cabinet ministers, and an overwhelming number of distinguished guests joined by the President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud Silanu. National Police Chief Abdullah Fadl Iman reminded attendees of the establishment of the National Police Forces and the citizens who contributed their efforts to better advancing national security through establishing a fully functional police force. He stated that police hasn't continued serving the nation's security by offering cooperation for citizens residing throughout Somaliland. President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud Silanu, pointed out the underlying necessity of jointly cooperating and protecting Somaliland and its citizens. The President underlined that police forces' commitment and dedication to strengthening domestic security ensured social and economic development. The President stated that the peace that Somaliland citizens are enjoying is reminding citizens of those whose diligence and competence instilled the establishment of the National Police Forces. Other esteemed guests at the event include Minister of Interior. Chairman of Civil Service Commission has conveyed a message of congratulations to the public employees and their families on behalf of the new Hijri year of 1435. Chairman of Civil Service Commission, Sheikh Musa Daale, conveyed a message of congratulations to all government staff and their families on behalf of the new Muslim year. In a press statement, the chairman continued to appreciate government staff for the significant task they've taken Somaliland forward, due to their great and valuable efforts towards ensuring objectives sought by the public. Chairman of National Civil Service Commission, Sheikh Musa Daale, announced a one-day holiday for all government staff on 4th of November 2013. Meanwhile, Minister of Labour and Social Affairs, Mohammed Baragarad, conveyed congratulations to all private and public staff and their families on Monday, November the 4th. Minister of Health, Salaban Ahmed Isa, returned home from a work-related trip to Jordan and Kenya. Minister of Health, Salaban Ahmed Isa Haglatusi, returned from a diplomatic visit to several nations including Jordan and Kenya. The minister met with top governmental and non-governmental officials and addressed the underlying need for more international support towards Somaliland's health sector. Minister of Health, Salaban Ahmed Isa Haglatusi, speaking to our reporters, he stated that the results of his trip were successful. He expressed appreciation towards the governments that hosted him during his stay in Jordan and Kenya, and a number of high-profile appointments held with senior non-governmental officials. The Minister of Health, a doctor by profession, elaborated on the progress made thus far. He commended the cooperative efforts of Somaliland government, private sector health professionals, as well as local and international organizations in strengthening Somaliland's health sector. However, the Minister was keen to stress the urgency of further support and assistance needed to ensure that this crucial sector remains a priority for donor nations interested in capacity building Somaliland. Minister Salaban Ahmed Isa Haglatusi also stated that the government pledged to provide support for Hargeisa Group Hospital. The hospital is a government-subsidized hospital acknowledged for providing urgent medical care to tens of thousands of citizens. Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mubarak Mohammed, hosted a Finnish delegation paying diplomatic visit to Somaliland. Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mubarak Mohammed, stated that this Finnish delegation has been in Somaliland for a diplomatic and work-related visit, having meetings with key government officials including the Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullah Ismail. The Vice Minister reiterated that Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been providing warm welcoming for the Finnish delegation. Members of the Finnish delegation in Somaliland expressed gratitude towards the warm welcoming being provided by the government and Somaliland citizens. They stated that Somaliland is a developing country in need of advanced international cooperation and that Somaliland's search of recognition is worthy of international indulgence. Chairman of the National Chamber of Commerce, Mohammed Shukri, announced date to hold Somaliland Business Fair. Chairman of the National Chamber of Commerce, Mohammed Shukri, elaborated on the major steps that the Chamber of Commerce taken in making commercial and investment regulations to foster foreign investment due to the increasing number of business giants showing interest in pursuing investment in the business sector of Somaliland. The chairman continued to state that the Chamber of Commerce is paying heed to the praiseworthy efforts of the government in ensuring the objectives of the public were reached. Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, Mohammed Shukri, stated that Somaliland's annual business fair will soon be held in the capital of Somaliland and urged business companies, customers and all citizens to participate in the upcoming business fair. Somaliland's business fair, a day that all business companies take part in days-long exhibitions, exhibiting their products for the public for selling and for advertisement, as well as displaying the role they play in further advancing Somaliland's private sector. You still watching the English news program on SLN-TV, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for the international headlines in detail. Two journalists with French radio section RFI are being shot dead by gunmen in Mali. Claude Verlin and Ghislaine Dupont had just finished interviewing a local official with MNLA Touareg separatist group on Saturday morning in Kidal in north of Mali. They were seized and taken at gunpoint in a 4x4 vehicle. Their bodies, which had been shot several times, were later found outside the town. Marie-Christine Saragossa, CEO of France Médias Monde, which owns RFI, said she hoped their deaths wouldn't stop journalists going into dangerous places. With regard to this kind of barbarity, we can't have a bodyguard for every journalist. So what's being put into questions giving a voice to those on the ground, which was our goal here. This is a barbaric killing. What can we do when faced with this kind of barbarity? Is stop going to certain places, stop providing information. I want to say no, she said. Kidal was the scene of a Touareg uprising last year that plunged Mali into chaos, leading into a coup and Al-Qaeda-linked militants occupying the north of the country. A French-led military intervention drove them out, but the area is still highly unstable with pockets of insurgents. The French Foreign Ministry has said it would work with local authorities to establish the circumstances around the deaths. French police clashed with angry demonstrators in the Breton city of Coimbra on Saturday. They were protesting against a proposed tax on heavy goods vehicles despite the government suspending plans for the tax during this week. Previous demonstrations by farmers and truckers in Brittany prompted the government's backpedaling on the controversial eco-tax. France is under pressure from the European partners to reduce its public deficit. That has led to tax rises and fueled rising discontent. Opinion polls show François Hollande with the lowest approval rating of any French president on record. Hollande's social government has also backed down on a proposed tax on savings, reinstated a tax break on education costs and dropping a planned new tax on business turnover, each after protests by interest groups. The man suspected of opening fire at Los Angeles International Airport, Paul Anthony Kiancia, 23, faces charge of murder of a federal officer. U.S. prosecutors have also filed a charge of committing violence at an international airport. U.S. Attorney Andrew Burrett told reporters the murder is believed to be a premeditated act of first degree, and in these circumstances the defendant faces either maximum penalty of life without possibility of parole, or the potential of the imposition of the death penalty, he said. Authorities said the gunman fatally shot one Transportation Security Administration TSA officer identified as Ganando Hernandez, 39, who was the first from the the agency to be killed in the line of duty. Kianxia pushed through the security gates and went deep into the passenger boarding area at Terminal 3. The 4 law enforcement officers caught up with him in a food court. He was shot and wounded by police before being taken into custody. The investigation into the attack will examine the shooting itself as well as the gunman's background and motivation. That brings us to the end of our latest edition of English News Program. Thanks very much for watching. Be sure to catch us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, take care and goodbye.